I wanted to bring in two members of Congress, something we only do here on News Nation. Right and left together to be reasonable. Republican member of Congress Ryan Zinke, Democratic member of Congress Adam Smith. Good to have you both. Hey, I have one quick question that is a sidebar, but it's about the budget bill that I don't understand, and I'm actually echoing Marjorie Taylor Greene, okay? Ryan, this is for you. I don't understand these states can't regulate AI for 10 years. Why would we want to centralize AI? Why would we want to take away states' ability to protect against what might happen in the scary unknown? I don't understand. I think she's right to ask about this.
Well, you know, it is a good question. And there's a lot in this bill that one would wonder about. But I think here's where it sits with most Americans, is that we have a spending problem in this bill. And we've been on the show before, and the bond market doesn't lie, Chris. And so when the bond market sees we can't control our spending, then interest rates go up, and interests are a tax. And remember we talked about the reconciliation, the beautiful bill, and Musk brings some very good points out, is that, look, you know, whatever we found in savings, and look, our $7 trillion budget, you don't think we can find $300 billion worth of savings during you know, 10 years? Of course we can. Just get rid of the fraud, waste, and abuse. But whatever we find in savings, let's roll that over to help the taxes so America doesn't get a tax, you know, hit in the face, but let's not go in debt doing it. And that's exactly what we're seeing in the bond market. It says, look, we can't further go into debt, and America is insolvent. Insolvency means we can't pay our bills without borrowing. Right. Now, we're not bankrupt, but look, just like Americans are charged up the credit card because they can't and we can't pay our bills monthly without putting it on the card. And America's putting the card, you know, enough's enough. So I think in the bill there's some finer points. I think it's going to come out of the Senate different than what it came in.
Adam, what is your take on where Democrats are on the rescission bill and the willingness to make cuts?
Well, first of all, I take Ryan's point, but we're living in like some sort of, I don't know, fantasy bizarro world. He makes all of those points in favor of a bill that adds trillions of dollars to the debt and the deficit. I mean, it's insane.
Yeah, he doesn't like that.
But their entire argument is, oh, the deficit is terrible, it's horrible. And they're pushing a bill. Even by their ridiculous assumptions, they still admit that it adds $1.7 trillion to the debt. Most estimate that number is closer to $3 trillion, but even by their own estimate. So I'm just baffled that you can make an argument, oh my gosh, we have to do this because of the debt and the deficit. Now, there is an answer to this, and Ryan actually revealed that. Republicans think that revenue is irrelevant. Remind me never to put one of them in charge of a company that I care about, okay? Because the revenue coming in is kind of important to making the operation work. And they want to pretend that it doesn't matter. And I don't disagree on the spending side. But revenue matters, and there's a great statistic Joseph Stiglitz showed back prior to the Reagan tax cuts, which kicked this whole thing off. Roughly 32% of all income in America went to taxes on the state, federal, local level, all in. That number by 2019 was down to 28, and it's lower now. Look, revenue is part of the discussion that they simply don't want to pay any attention to. And again, they're adding to the debt. If you want to do something about the debt, you're better off doing nothing than you are in doing this bill.